the 3rd of September. It is officially autumn. I think today I'm just gonna have a little cozy day of putting out all my autumnal decorations. Maybe a few of my little Halloween bits because I bought some new stuff. And also just try and like tidy the house a bit because I'm going away on Sunday. I'm going away on holiday up to the north of Scotland with my boyfriend and his parents. So that's really exciting. Oh, there's a space right outside. Yes. Yes. I really don't think you want to go outside today. Like, are you sure? You're sitting here like you want to. I wouldn't if I were you. But it's not nice weather. He debates. I've heard that Gilmore Girls is like a very autumnal show and I've never watched it before, so gonna give it a go. Oh my god, do not set yourself on fire.
So there are 5 days in school week. Really?
I am back again 2 nights before I'm due to go on holiday, and I've decided that I'm gonna make jam. I have never made jam in my life before, and I don't know why I think now is a good time to start. I'm going on holiday on Sunday. We're going up north of Scotland with my boyfriend and his parents, and I have a whole punnet of strawberries here that I'm never gonna eat up in that time. So I'm just thinking, like, I'll make jam because why not? Have I ever made jam in my life, I hear you ask? No, I have not. This is the first time for me. My friend who does make jam has given me tips on like what to do. So I'm like, how hard can it be? Throwback to clips of the cake incident where I was like, I will bake a cake for my boyfriend's birthday. I don't know anything of what I'm doing right now. I'm like quietly optimistic for this. How bad can it actually go? Okay, and then she said to mash them. So I have my strawberries washed in here, and I guess just mash them. Just mash them, hope for the best. Ooh. So what was that? That was 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6.
You mean the 2 for 6?
What?
2 for 6.
I consulted my friend who is very much a baker. Ah, it smells so good though. Like, it does smell good. I love strawberries. I'm hoping like it'll be nice. I've got a jar that I can fill up for my boyfriend that I can take with me when I go on holiday with him. I can be like, look, I made us some jam. Like, what are we gonna put it on? I don't know. Oh, I could buy some scones. That would be really nice. Is this mashed enough, do you think? I don't know. I'm also in the middle of like trying to make dinner. I mean, I've not started dinner. I am in the process of deciding what I'm doing for dinner. Yeah, let's do this. That's a lot better. So that was 246. And then she said to put in the same amount of sugar. Oh, and also she said a squeeze of lemon, but I don't know what a squeeze of lemon is. So specifically jam sugar. This is the one I bought. I bought silver spoon. And she said, were they mixed all together? I wasn't supposed to do anything first. So she said to put in the same amount of sugar as I have fruit, which is a lot, but we'll go for 480 to be happy. Ooh. Okay, and then she said to squeeze. I don't know what to squeeze. What's a squeeze of lemon? I think I've cut that wrong. How much is a squeeze? Like, will I do a wedge? Oh, I don't want to get the seeds in there. Ooh. Oh no, my seeds! My seeds are popping out. Ah! Oh, I've got to cut my hand. I think it's going in it. Squeeze of lemon. I hope that's a squeeze. I really hope it is. She said to use a non-stick pot, and to be honest, he's a big boy, but this is my favorite pot to use, so I'm gonna go with this one. Ooh, so this is what we're looking like. I hope you can see this. Okay, this is my pot. Should I just fire it out and hope for the best? We'll just, I'm not good at doing this, so like you can see. Right, we'll just tip her in, and like surely. So she said, bring it to the boil. She said, bring it to the boil. I hope it won't stick. No, this is a really good like non-stick pan. So I'm quite optimistic. She said it'll thicken up. She said, bring it to the boil and then like let it cook away until it thickens up. It's starting to bubble. There's a seed in there from my lemon. We need to get that out immediately. It's not boiling yet. It's starting to bubble. It's starting to bubble. But I don't have any, I should have bought like a scone or something like to actually put jam on. I could always get a scone from work. Ooh, there's a plan. So it's starting to look like this. Is that another seed? It is, you bastard. Do you agree? I think so. I think this is boiling. So I might just turn it down a bit. I think the cat agrees. I'm gonna turn it down a bit and just see what happens. What if it does nothing? What if it just stays like liquid? When will it thicken? At what point does the jam turn into jam? I need to tidy my kitchen, and I need to prep for going away. And I need to actually prep my dinner. Like, oh my god. What am I even doing? I feel like we're starting to get a little bit thicker. Like I'm seeing the jam consistency. So I'm seeing it. I'm starting to see it. I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing the vision. I'm quite excited for this. Ooh. Looking back now, a better spoon might have been an option. Oh my god, she is jam. Like, it is jam. That was so, like, not to toot my own horn, but that was so easy. Like, let's just not look at the mess. Imagine, like, growing your own strawberries and then, like, making your own jam. Okay, so this is, like, a great balance snack. So, here we are. My 2 little jars of jam. I'm so excited. I'm gonna keep that one for me, and I think I'll take this one with me to my boyfriend and be like, I made jam. But yeah, I did it. Woo! I wish I had some now, like, to try with it. Like, maybe tomorrow, like, I'll bring home a scone or something from work and have that, because that'd be really nice. Like a scone and jam. Success! I'm gonna miss you. It's 8:30. Today is travel day. I am driving around 7.5 to 8 hours, depending on traffic, depending on delays, up north. So far up north. Very, very far. Far, far, far away. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. I've never been that far up before. I probably never will be that far up again. And I'm really looking forward to it. The weather is not great today. It's supposed to be really windy. And I'm not entirely optimistic for the rest of the week. But, like, as long as it stays dry, that's all I ask for. I just need it to be dry so that I can go on nice little walks and just have a really lovely time. I'm taking 2 books with me. I'm taking Rewitched and The Hunting Party. So one's a sort of like, I don't know if I'd call it a romantasy. I think it's more of like a cozy kind of fantasy. Like, it's set in modern times. It's set in like this kind of, it's set in like the normal world, but there's like magical elements. So I've been wanting to read more of those kind of books. My friend also got one as a copy as well, and we were going to try and read it together. And The Hunting Party is a mystery by Lucy Foley. I can't remember who wrote Rewitched. I thought I would take a mystery book as well because I am quite a mystery reader. I think that's my favourite genre to read. So I thought, in case I'm not enjoying Rewitched, I read those kind of books a lot slower, whereas I tend to read mysteries like quite quickly. Like, I could read it in a day, 2 days, if it's really good. It's a book I've been wanting to read for a while, and I only just got it recently, so I'm quite excited to try it and see how it is, so hopefully it's good. I don't even know if I'll get much reading done, because of the fact I'm going with my boyfriend. I'm not just going to be sitting reading all the time, but I would also quite like to read a bit. I would love to do like little cute outings and take my book and do some reading, but we'll see. So I might not get as much reading done as I would like, but I'm taking 2 books just to be optimistic. You never know. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you so much. 6 days I'm gonna be gone for. 6 whole days. Are you gonna miss me? You're so floppy. I wish it wasn't raining. Head massage. It is the 19th of September. Oh, that kettle's gonna bug me actually. Maybe I'll just wait. I'll wait to finish speaking before I boil the kettle because that's gonna annoy the life out of me. I always do this. I start recording or I start speaking and I do stuff while I've got things like the microwave on or the kettle boiling or the washing machine on, and at the time I'm like, it's fine, it's not that noticeable, and then when I'm editing I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Today is Friday, I have the day off work, and I'm gonna set myself 2 challenges today. So the first one is to finish the book I'm currently reading. So I'm reading Murder at the Bookstore. I've been reading this one for a while. I think I started it in May, and I only ever read the first 40 pages, I believe. I started it when I was on holiday with my boyfriend, and I didn't really like, I'm not saying that I didn't like it, but I just didn't quite get into it. And then I was reading quite a bit of it in my last reading vlog, or in my last vlog in August, so I did read some more then, and I've kind of just been cracking on with it these last few days just because I went away just there the last week to Loch Inver. I was up in the Scottish Highlands, which was absolutely beautiful. I loved it. I had the best time ever, and I read 2 books while I was away. I read Hamnet by, I think it was Maggie. Oh, who was it by? Maggie O'Carroll? Who wrote the book? It was in the cottage already. I just spotted it on the bookshelves and I was like, oh, I recognise this book. Like, I feel like I've seen it before. And I think the author has come to the book festival that happens in my hometown every year. I picked it up and I read it, and I read it over a couple of days. Quite liked it. I gave it 5 stars. Then I also read The Hunting Party, which was a book of mine that I took up with me. I took 2 books with me on holiday, and annoyingly I would have read both of them had I just read them, but I picked up Hamnet to begin with and I read it, and so I ended up not reading both of my books, but I did read one of them. I finished it when I got home, but I started it like, oh my god, the toaster. That was not nice. Aww. And I burnt my toast. Oh, it's hot. Do you know what? Like, I deserve better than this. So I'm gonna make myself a piece of toast. I'm not eating that. I'll chuck it out to the birds. Feed the birds. Tuppence a bag. Anywho, so I finished reading The Hunting Party. I started it when I was up there and I finished it when I came home. I gave it 5 stars. I'm not going to do a review on it, but I will talk about it when I eventually do my September wrap up, like once the month ends. Because there's a couple of little points now that I'm looking back that I'm like, hold on a minute. But actually there's a lot of good things I have to say about it. So I might just keep that for my wrap up because I don't feel like I need to do a full-on review. Reviews for me are really just if I have to rant to get a book off my chest. So I'm not going to bother with that. But currently reading Murder at the Bookstore. I'm finally starting to get into it now that I've only got like 50 pages to go. So I am so close to the end. And for once, actually, a bit like The Hunting Party when I was reading that, I didn't really have it. I had some ideas of who the killer was going to be. But, I mean, I'll talk about it more when I do my wrap-up. Because I had reasons why I didn't know with The Hunting Party, like, who the killer was going to be. Which is not like me. Normally, I'm quite good at guessing, sadly. I've just found lately when I read mysteries that I'm just getting too good at picking up on things. And it's not that I'm really like, I'm too smart for my own good. It's more that I've just read so many mysteries now that I tend to pick up on, okay, so that's a red herring. That's just been put in there just to throw us off. It's actually something that this character said in the very first chapter. So I've been thinking from the start that I think they're the killer. Things like that, that I just pick up on things too quickly now. So with The Hunting Party, it was a little bit different because it wasn't even until like the last few chapters we even knew who died. And that was really different for me for a mystery, and I really enjoyed that, like not actually knowing like who was dead. So we eventually found out what the gender was, so then you were able to narrow it down because the book was in a closed setting. They were in a lodge up in, conveniently they were also up in the Scottish Highlands, which was where I was when I was reading the book. So I made it a little bit more immersive. They were basically trapped up there because of a snowstorm, so nobody could get in, nobody could get out. So you knew it had to be one of the party that was there, which was pretty good. I really liked it. I really liked that I didn't know who died, and so I couldn't then necessarily work out who the killer was going to be. I really enjoyed that. I will talk about it more, as I say, in depth when I do my wrap up at the end of the month. But also, maybe because with this book, I picked it up in May, and I've been reading it kind of staggered throughout the last few months. I think I'm really enjoying the fact that I've kind of forgotten a lot of things that happened at the beginning of the book, and the main character, who's an author, her friend is killed. As usual in these kind of books where you've got a civilian trying to solve the mystery, the police are quite incompetent. I do quite like that, I must admit. I'm a bit of both. I like a mystery told from the perspective of a police officer or a detective, because they're doing things by the letter, by the law, but I do quite enjoy it as well. On the other side, when you get that it's a civilian getting involved in things that they shouldn't be, but I just enjoy that. I think I like it a lot more because they can sort of break the rules and do things that the police technically shouldn't be doing because they have to do things by the book. It's one of those where she's trying to solve the mystery herself. I've already forgotten a good few things that happened at the start of the book and in the halfway mark, so I kind of picked it up. I was almost about 3/4 of the way through, I think, or I was just about halfway, so the character had already been doing some digging that I'd completely forgot about. So I kind of went back into it a bit blind because I thought I could have went back and reread, but I also can't be bothered with that. So I'm like, everything will turn out in the end, like I'll find things out. So I'm kind of just going with it. So I have a few suspicions now that I'm getting to the final 50 pages. But before that, I was just reading it this morning and I was like, I'm not got a clue. I'm not got a clue what's going on. So I'm almost at the end. I'm gonna sit down this morning with my breakfast of my burnt toast. I'm definitely having another piece. Like I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna sit down, eat my breakfast, and I'm gonna finish off my book. My other goal I want to do today is I want to get really back into my writing, because I've been writing a bit more recently, but I tend to have days where I'm just like, do I want to write? Do I want to read? Do I want to just sit and watch TV and started watching Gilmore Girls, and I've just been having a marathon of it. I'm on to like episode 18, I think, of the first season. I get distracted with that. So I'm thinking today, my goals are, I want to finish this book. I think I have 50 pages to go. And I also want to write at minimum 1,000 words. So I'm just gonna, after I finish my book, I think I'm just gonna sit down with my laptop and I'm just gonna write and just hopefully, well actually, I mean, I feel like 1,000 words would be quite easy. Off I go. I'm gonna remake my toast first though. I'm very excited to properly try the jam that I made myself in, oh, it's gonna be in this video, I think. That's good. That's really good. I think I found my new thing. I want to make jam. One thing I do love a little bit when I'm reading books is when I find a mistake, because I'm just like, oh, you didn't spot it and your editor didn't spot it. Tim was murdered because he had the necklace that could identify Aletha's killer. Tim was murdered. I think it's supposed to say, I don't know what it's supposed to say. What if Tim was murdered? Tim was murdered. That's a bit of a spoiler for the book. But either way, I just love it when I find a little typo, because I'm just like, oh, not even a typo. Like that's just a full-on mistake, girl. That's a mistake. Okay, so I have just finished reading Murder at the Bookstore. It was good. I think I'm gonna rate it 4 stars because I don't know if I quite like the final showdown with the killer. I feel like the way the information was given to us in the conversation was a little bit jagged. It wasn't, it was very much like, as much as I do obviously love when the killer just basically has a confessional and he's like, that's right, I did it, and I killed this person, and this is how I did it. This time, it did feel like the way it was kind of done, I don't know, it just felt a bit odd. I'm maybe left with more questions than answers. Like, I feel like I didn't quite understand some of it. Hey ho, I've finished reading it. It was quite good fun, I would say. I think I preferred it towards the end than I did maybe the first part. I'm not overly a big massive fan of the main character Jen, but I must admit towards the end I was quite proud of her for working with the police and actually telling them the things that she knew, rather than just like holding everything to her chest and being like, I can't trust the police, I need to do it myself. There's a couple of that maybe don't quite make sense. So I'm like, well, why did the killer do these things? But I think I'll just torture myself if I think about it too much. So I'm just going to accept that this was a 4-star read. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't quite give it 5 stars because it wasn't perfect, but 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I think in the beginning when I first started it, I guessed who the killer was going to be, but then as time moved on and we were given more characters and more suspects, I think I kind of moved on from that, and then I forgot about it. And then that person sort of tagged along a little bit, so the killer was known to our main character. I liked it. It was okay. When I read other books by her, I remember when I first bought this in the bookstore, there were multiple, so it's obviously a series, so possibly I would pick them up again. Jen was okay as main character. I think I warmed up to her a bit more towards the end. To begin with, I didn't think I was going to like her. A few of the other characters I was a bit unsure about, but all in all, it was quite a good book. And that is another book under my belt for September, so I'm quite pleased with that. I am not even close to my reading goal of reading 50 books this year, so I really want to up my game and just plow through. So hopefully I will. Hopefully I do, because I really want to do it, and I've got so many books that I own that I need to work my way through. So now I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I need to do my second goal of writing 1,000 words. I don't know if I want to do that just now, or I kind of want to like read something else. I'm in a like. Sometimes when I finish a book, I immediately feel motivated to pick up another one. So I'm kind of tempted to do that. So I don't know. I don't know yet what I'm doing. Okay, so I know I will write at some point today, but because I've just finished a book, I kind of want to start a new one. So I think I had a little look at all my books. I'm still in a mystery mood, so I think I'm going to read this book, Kills, by Ravena. Guron, I think that's pronounced. Guron. I think this is a YA book. I always assume when a book is set in a school that it's YA, which I do love. So I'd read the summary and I think it sounds like it could be quite good. So she wrote the perfect murder, someone carried it out. Now she's next. I think I'm optimistic. Ravena, I'm optimistic. Yeah, I might just start it and then I'll do a wee bit of writing. I just gotta say that I love that this book includes a map of the school layout. More books need to include maps, because the amount of times people are referencing if it's in a house or if it's in like a school or even just a town, like a fictional town, it sometimes is quite nice to have a layout. There goes the post. Just so I can sort of visualize. I mean, not that I really check it that much, but it's nice to be able to look and see the layout and like, oh, so this place is close by to here and their neighbours and this. I think I would have loved that for the last book I was reading before the last one, actually, the last, The Hunting Party, because they were on like an estate in the Scottish Highlands, and there was a big lodge that was like a communal area, and then they all had individual cabins. I couldn't quite make up my mind of like the layout of it. I think it would have been nice to have had a map for that book, so this will come in handy, especially if we're having like a chase or something. I love this. This is great. Ravena, I'm already impressed. Ooh. There's a cat pawing at me. Is it doing anything? Is the colour even changing? So I know last time I checked, I've written about 700 words. So writing 1,000 words is easy. I'm kind of on a roll. So that's good. So I think I'm going to try and do, I might even just like, I don't know, I might just like, I'm just gonna keep going and see how much I can actually get written. So that's nice. But I fancied a wee snack, although saying that, like, it's 4:10, it is nearly dinner time. I fancied a little snack and I was gonna have a cup of tea, but I thought, oh, do you know what would be nice with a cup of tea? A wee hot chocolate. So I'm trying this stupid I'm sure I got them for Christmas, where you like, I could just eat that. You just like pop it in to like hot milk and melt it. It's kind of taking its time. But I actually also read the first 3 chapters of that book. And so far, I'm already like, do you know what, this is okay. Like, I'm kind of, like, I'm interested. I'm like, oh, it's like set in a boarding school. So I'm a bit like, ooh, that's exciting. I think I do quite like those like private boarding school stories, just because it's different. Like, it's, I don't know, it's different. You got your little like preppy kids and that. I'm just like, this is a bit of me. This is me. I'm enjoying this. So that's good. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to make this bloody hot chocolate though. Like,
You don't have a plan, do you?
I'm working on it. More distractions.
So the dining room is right there, and breakfast.
so yesterday I achieved my goal and I wrote 1,000 words. I wrote about 800 in the afternoon, and then I finished off at night. I actually wrote over 1,000. I think I wrote almost 1.5k. So I'm quite pleased. I'm quite pleased. I think I was trying to say proud and pleased at the same time. I'm quite pleased. I'm pleased that I did that. So today starts the goal of I need to read I need to read 2,000 words. Did I say read again? I need to write 2,000 words. It should be possible. I think with me it just depends. Yesterday I got into a bit of a roll, I got into a rhythm, and then I hit a little bit of a block and I was like, oh, where am I going now? I think what I'm really trying to do with this story is something that the idea for the story I came up when I was like 13 years old, and it's just been evolving over time, and as I grow up and as I get more experienced, as I read more books, as I watch more movies, I get inspired by different things, I get inspired by real life. So the story has definitely changed from what it originally was when my little 13-year-old brain first came up with it, and it's growing and growing and growing. Sometimes it's hard for me to make changes. I come up with new ideas for it and I think, do I want to go in that direction? Because that's not what the original story was. So I don't ever know what the finished product's going to be, because I have written a first draft. I'll say I've started a first draft probably about 6 or 7 times by this point. Like, I would start it, I would read over it and decide that I'm not overly keen, or I would then go back and rewrite stuff to make it a bit more detailed. Sometimes then I would read over it and I'm like, oh. And I think what I find now is when I go back and I read some of the original first drafts, I can see the difference between then and now. It sounds more, I would even describe it as being a bit Wattpad-y. I always love to use that description for like books that I'm reading if I'm not overly keen on them. If I'm like, oh, it kind of just reads like a Wattpad story where it's like just a basic Wattpad story, or like a basic fanfic where it's just like, or a basic fan fiction where it's just like, I don't know, we're trying to get from A to B so our characters can date and stuff like that. Like, I don't even know how, like, in my mind I know what I mean when I say something sounds like a Wattpad story. And there are good Wattpad stories, and there are stories on Wattpad that people clearly love so much that they get turned into real books and they become TV shows and movies. So in no way do I ever diss the Wattpad, because the power of Wattpad. But when I read them, I'm like, oh, like I can tell it was written by like an 18-year-old or a 16-year-old or even like a 21-year-old. So now I find, I'm 28 now, I found that I am getting better. I think I find my best writing advice for myself and for others is just to keep writing and to read more, because definitely think reading books is the best way to learn just how to do it. Like, these books, I know you get books that maybe aren't that great that have been published, but at the end of the day, if these books can be published, so can you. But either way, I'm really determined this time to stick it out and write a first draft, because I think the closest I got with one of them, the last time, The last time I was writing a draft, I got to 70,000 words and I'd got quite far, not far through the story, but I'd progressed quite a decent amount through the story. I was on a roll, and then I think I just took a break, and then, like I say, the idea changed in my head. So I ended up now, I thought, right, I'm changing it. So I don't know, I often think someday if I ever actually finish this series and publish it, maybe someday I would actually like write on like Wattpad or somewhere like what the original story was going to be. Not maybe the full story, but at least some of the first drafts I can be like, here you go, like here's what it was gonna be. And so that those versions get to see the light of day. But like I say, they never really got very far. They got like they got to the intro. They got like through the intro, through the first like quarter. We never quite got to the halfway mark. We never quite got to the real like what the plot of this book's gonna be. But either way, I'm proud of myself for writing 1,000 words yesterday. I'm determined to write 2,000 today. And I'm determined to stick at this little mini challenge that I've given myself. And overall, I am determined to finish a first draft of this story that I have been, and not even a first draft, but finish a draft of this story that I have been thinking of since I was 13 years old, because that is a long time to be living with it. And I just gotta embrace my inner Alexander Hamilton. And why do you write like you're running out of time? Why do you write like you need to survive? And just get it done, because time is passing. Like there's been so many, every year I would tell myself I want to write these stories and actually like do something with them. So this time, probably not this year, but next year, next year I think it's going to be a good year for me. I'm manifesting that. Next year is going to be a great year for me. Good morning. I need to talk about this book. Yes, Mikeko, I need to talk about this book ASAP. So I stayed up until 1 a.m. last night finishing off This Book Kills. There's a cat being very noisy behind me. I know you want your breakfast. I'm literally just slapping on some makeup. Do not worry, my boy. I stayed up till 1 a.m. to finish it. I read a good chunk of it yesterday. And then when I came in from work last night, I basically just went straight to bed and just started reading it. And oh my god, I couldn't stop because I was so close to the end. I was like, I need to know who did it, and I need to know what happens. I gotta say 5 stars. 5 stars all round. That is the kind of, it was a YA mystery. I will talk about it more at another point. Sorry. Probably when I do my wrap up. I don't feel like I need to do a review on it. I could do a review on it actually, because I feel like this book deserves so much love. I just thought it was so good. As a teenager or like a young adult, I would have loved that. I would have lapped that up, because that is the sort of YA book that I like back then. I've gotten a bit better now, where the main character is solving a mystery. There is a boy on the scene, but the boy and the sort of like the romance subplot, it was such a subplot. Like they literally did not kiss until the end. I preferred that. I definitely preferred it for me, but at the same time I was low-key rooting for them, so I wouldn't have minded if there'd been a little kiss here and there. Sometimes I used to find, I think it was it one of us is lying, the romance subplot, or the two characters were pining for each other, and I remember at the time it bugged me. I don't think it would bug me now. I think that was just me being a little cynic as a youngster. Whereas now I'm actually like, I can put up with it a lot better than I used to be able to. Look at this little cherub. It was really good. I actually liked the way they did it. I liked the reveals, or I liked the main reveal. There was multiple reveals because there was quite a lot going on. There was a secret society in the school. I should probably talk about the book a little bit. So it's set in a boarding school. Our main character, Jess, and her friend Clem are caught up in a murder mystery where Clem was having an affair with the popular rich boy, Hugh. He was cheating on his girlfriend, Millie, and then Hugh dies. Hugh is murdered outside, hit over the head by a trophy, and the details surrounding the murder, so how he was killed and how this murder scene was arranged was the exact same as a short story that Jess had written for one of her classes. She co-wrote this story with somebody else. Jess is involved in the mystery because she gets an anonymous text being like, thanks so much for the inspiration, couldn't have done it without you. And thus just begins Jess and Clem, and then later on they team up with a few others to solve what happened to Hugh. There is also a secret society in the school called, I can't pronounce it, the Regia Club. It's basically like just a secret society that has been there for years and years and years, and it's said that this society actually like basically runs the school because the previous members are now graduated and they have high-flying jobs and they have money which they fire into the school. So basically their grandkids are now at the school, are now in the society. So it basically just says that like the society like runs the school because people that were once in the club now have like positions of power to be like, hey, big up the Regia Club. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Regia. I don't know. It's Latin. I had a couple of suspicions of who I thought did it and what happened. But I have to admit, considering it was YA, first mystery I've read in a while where I just felt like the characters weren't automatically too, like they were definitely a wee bit shifty, like, but it wasn't even that they were really shifty, it was more that they would say things like, oh yeah, like, so where were you the night that Hugh died? Oh, like I was in my room studying alone, like things like that. But it wasn't that everybody was like, I think I've been reading so many mysteries lately where other characters are just acting so suspicious, and it's like you are doing the most to look guilty. For once, I did sort of figure it out, but I also didn't, if you know what I mean. Like, I had a theory at one point where I was like, imagine if this is what happens. But then I was like, oh no, I don't think it will be. I think there's going to be something else at play. And I loved that there was just loads of characters introduced. It could have been any one of them. It could have been one person doing it for another person. There was just so much. And there was so much going on and a few red herrings. And I loved it. All in all, I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was well written. I liked Jess as a main character. Absolutely loved the setting of being like in a boarding school. New favourite setting. I want to read more books that are in a boarding school. Hell, I want to write them. It was so much fun. I loved it so much. No parental interference. The teachers were okay. They weren't bad. I do feel like Jess did get that, she was kept in the loop about a lot of things, but I must admit as well, she did what I loved for a main character in this kind of setting, and she would go to the police as she was like getting information or figuring things out. Like, I love that, because I always low-key hate when, and I get it, because normally in these books the police are really incompetent, and the police were like no less incompetent in this book, but usually the characters, I was like, we can't go to the police, we can't trust the police, and they do everything themselves. And I'm always just like, go to the police, like, please, for the love of God, go to the police. I know they might not believe you, but at least go. I love that Jess was actually like going to the police when she got information, when she found out stuff. And maybe it helped, maybe it didn't. She still figured it all out by herself, really, I would say. Really, really good book. Really, really, really loved it. 5 stars all round. I'm definitely putting it up there with one of my favourite books I've read so far this year. I want to read more by the author. I just think it was really, really good. I think I was a little bit nervous by it because I picked this up in the works and I love the works. No shade to the work. But recently, in recent years, I've always been let down by the works and the books in the works because I see so many interesting mysteries and I get them and I read them and they're never great. So now she has another book called Catch Your Breath and I definitely want to read it. I only want to read it though if it's set in another boarding school because I love that. It just took me back to like, I don't know, games I used to play as a child. Like I was just thinking about all the times when we used to pretend that we were like at a boarding school, like it was the dream. I love that setting, having dormitories. I loved it. Loved it. I cannot rave about this book enough. And yeah, I think anytime I'm on a roll because this is the second book I've read where I haven't guessed. I have guessed, but like not, it's that I've guessed who the killer is, or at some point I've kind of had a theory that this could be an option, but I've not known for certain. Whereas sometimes when I've read other books, I end up coming up with a theory and being like, it has to be you, it's probably you, and then it ends up being them, and I'm like, oh. Whereas with this, it was like a nice reveal, because it was like, oh my god, like I thought that, but like I didn't think it would be. So really, really good. Loved it. Loved it. I think she might be. I loved her writing. Ravena, girl, I love you. Because this was 10 out of 10, 5 stars out of 5 stars, 10 out of 10, 5 stars. I want to read another book by her. I think I saw another one in the work, so I'm gonna have to keep a lookout, because loved it. Loved the writing. Chef's kiss. I loved it. And it's been a while since I've read a book where it just like kept me up at night. I think the last time I did that was Sunrise on the Reaping, where I just stayed awake to finish it. So I was still going at 1 a.m. and I was like, this is way past my bedtime. But now I don't know what to read next, because anything I do read just won't be the same. I think now I'm beginning to realize actually that I am more of a young adult fan. One thing I think I really loved about this mystery was the switch up that it's not adults. Adults a lot of the time tend to be, if they're having like affairs or they're sleeping together, it can be a bit smutty, which I'm growing to not fear the smut. I'm gonna need to move because I really do need to get ready for work. I really need to feed the cat. There's so much I need to do. Good morning, afternoon. It's afternoon, it's after 12. Today, I kind of woke up not feeling 100%. Do you know that way when you just feel it in your throat? Like my throat felt really dry and I've been quite sniffly. So that's great. I feel like something's brewing. Something is brewing, about to begin. Thankfully, I am off work today. This was my one day off this week. I had 6 shifts. So I think I'm going to nip into town and do a wee bit of shopping. And I think I'm going to try and I'm going to make a pot of tomato soup. Because I've been wanting to make it. It is soup season and I've been wanting to make a nice tomato soup. I just don't know how well it's going to go. It's so much easier than getting my tripod out to just literally like set my phone here and just sit on the floor. Hopefully it turns out okay. I'm quite optimistic. I'm just gonna follow a TikTok recipe and we'll see how that goes. Also, I feel like every video I ever make these days, I'm wearing this top just because I wear it almost every day. Well, not quite every day, but I just love it. There's something about it. It's very autumnal. I love the colors. I don't even know what book I'm gonna read next. I haven't even really decided. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I think I just had such a good time reading this book Kills that now I'm like, I'm on a hype. I don't want to ruin it with a bad book. So my veggies are in the oven for 30 minutes to soften, and then I need to mix it afterwards. I only have a hand mixer, so I'm not sure how that's gonna go down because it's probably gonna take some time. It's not the best. I paid like £8 for it in B&M's. We'll see how that goes. It'll probably take me forever, but I'm very excited to see how this tries out. I'm a little bit unsure because the recipe I followed just had like loads of different like spices and stuff in it for flavor, and I don't know, I cut back. I didn't use the same amount of onions as it said, and I kind of cut back a little bit on some of the herbs just because I just want to see how it turns out the first time, and then after that, if I like it, I can play around with it, maybe introduce more tomatoes, more onion, more pepper, more whatever. So see how it goes, but I'm feeling optimistic that it's going to turn out okay. So I've got my stock preparing here and my roasted veggies. So I don't know how all this is gonna go because this is my stick blender and this is what we have to blitz. I'm optimistic. I'm really not optimistic, but I think, you know what, it just might take me a while, so let's give it a go. I realised I missed a step. I was supposed to add brown sugar and tomato puree, so I've done that. And it's looking well mixed up. I'm gonna do a little taste test. I hope it tastes good. Might just blitz it a little bit more. And then I know I need to add cream at some point. It tastes very tomatoey. I would say that is mission success. It's really good. It's really good. I'm pleased with it. I think it tastes nice. Maybe my blender isn't quite the best because there is bits of like skin in it. That makes it sound like I've got human skin in there. Like I've got like skin from like the tomatoes and probably the onions. Maybe even the peppers, but like there's like a bit of like, I would say skin in it that hasn't been broken down, but apart from that, it's good. So, mission success. It is very cold and slightly windy Saturday morning. I am at work today from 10 to 6 and I am bunged down with the cold. So that's really lovely. Love that for me. I think it started on Thursday, which is my one day off this week, so that was even better. And then last night I was only meant to be working 3 till 9, but thankfully I got to finish at 7 just because it was so stuffy in the place. I could not, my nose would not stop running, and as like a hospitality worker, I felt even more awkward because I didn't really want to touch food, so I was constantly washing and sanitizing my hands, and then I was constantly having to blow my nose and sneeze, and I'd be trying to like serve tables and I'd be like, I'm gonna sneeze. So in the end, they were like, you could go, it's fine. So I left at 7, so that was quite nice. And then I came home, I had a bowl of soup, and I just sat on the couch, and then I went to bed. Also, the power flickered a couple of times last night. It never went off, but I got scared, so I filled it with flask. So I've just reheated it now, in case I come back and I don't have any power, because that would not be nice. I feel like it's such a British thing to be like, doesn't matter if the power goes out, but as long as I get my cup of tea. I'm starting my day off with a warm cup of tea and a slice of toast and honey. Honey is pretty medicinal, isn't it? Like, isn't it like, what is honey? It's not an antiseptic, but what is it? There's something about it. There's something medicinal about honey. Because you get like honey and lemon. Therapeutic is what it is. Oh, here it comes. I'm going straight for my cup of tea. No, sir. Not my tea. Ugh. Anyway, I need to go. I need to go.